With 3 days left to go before the game, you could still buy Hearts tickets for the home end in the same stand that's usually filled by Celtic fans. Let's listen to what little Naismith, the little dweeb, had to say about the fact that Celtic were on a reduced allocation.
Smaller away allocation for Celtic for the game. Usually they'd have a whole stand around about 3,000 now. Sort of 600-ish to give more Hearts fans the chance to come here. Brendan Rodgers not too happy about it, a bit disappointed. Is he right to be disappointed, or is that a little bit cheeky?
Is he a little bit cheeky? When you see the way that Scottish football is going, we've all got our own personal thoughts now. Mine, I think, is doing the game worse. But by only giving us 567 tickets, you can be sure that Celtic will return the favour.
Celtic will have their view. They're going to have their view, just like we would have our view from what we get when we go to away grounds. I think as a club, over the last 5 or 6 years, the momentum's been building for the club in general, whether that be the new stand being built, the backing the club have got, the foundation, and the fans taking control of the club, and so all that comes with, and all the optimism comes with.
He's talking absolute nonsense. Answer the question. He's just total. Hearts are renowned for not turning up for big games, and then all of a sudden they want 20,000, 25,000, and there's week in, week out, they don't fill their stadium, but then when they get to Hampden, they get to a final, they want 25,000. It's like, come on, where are you the rest of the time? There are still tickets available with 3 days to go for that end of the stadium.
Creating a bigger following. We've got that bigger following, so first and foremost we need to look after our
How many times did he say he was dying to say follow there, wasn't he? Anyway, moving on for him, we need to talk about Celtic goalkeepers. I did sort of go about it this morning, but I think it's time to mention some other goalkeepers that Celtic could maybe go for. Obviously the big news, the headline this morning, is the fact that past couple of days, Andrew Lunan, but there are the 5 other goalkeepers that have been mentioned. I think some of these are an absolute no-go, but we're going to put it out there to you in the comments. So obviously the first one up is the big one, the big money one, Andre Lunan from Real Madrid. And he's not happy at playing second fiddle at Real Madrid. Will Celtic get him? He's frustrated due to the lack of game time. Personally, is at the right age for Celtic to go in for him, 24-year-old. You keep this in mind also, because we're talking about the age of the current keeper, Joe Hart, who's coming up for 37. So keep this in mind with the keepers that are coming up that are going to be named in this video. The Ukrainian international has found himself back on the bench following the Chelsea keeper on loan. Next up is the Liverpool goalkeeper, the 24-year-old Kelleher. He's at the right age as well, 24-year-old, and this is the way that Celtic are trying to build momentum with a team that's going to gel together for the next 3 or 4 years. You want all these players in about the same age bracket, so that they can build something around a core of a team. He's managed just 24 appearances, Kelleher, and he plays second fiddle to Becker at Liverpool. It's understood that Jurgen Klopp is reluctant to use one of the club's own homegrown talents. This is the same man that took one of Celtic's homegrown talents and took them down to Liverpool. Let's move on for that one. Anyway, Ryan Matthews is the next one. Ryan Matthews is the Australian number 1. He was linked with a chance to come to Celtic during Ange Postecoglou's reign. He penned an 18-month deal with AZ Alkmaar in January, and he's going to establish himself. The former Brighton goalkeeper. Is he the type of player? I mean, bringing in an Australian goalkeeper? I don't know. I don't know enough about the player to comment on this guy. So, is Matthew Ryan the Australian number 1? I know there's a lot of Australians watch this channel, so maybe you can give us a comment on this video and tell us what you think about Matthew Ryan. Is he Celtic quality? Is he the type of keeper that we're looking for? Now, a few people have been talking in the last week or so, quite a while actually, they've mentioned on the channel in the comments, and thanks to everyone that comments, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up because it does help with the algorithm. Like Angus Gunn, the Scotland goalkeeper, the Norwich City star, he's been okay for Scotland, I'm going to say. Let's face it, if you're playing with 5 defenders in front of you you would expect a goalkeeper to be well covered. So this is the only reason that I'm thinking. When you come to Celtic, you've got a lot of time on your hands. And let's face it, there's some games you could be sitting with a cigar and probably slippers on and a deck chair and maybe just talk to the fan. Or like what the Holy Goalie used to do. Holy Goalie would come on at Ibrox and they would bless himself to the Rangers fans. Maybe we need someone like that back at Celtic. Is Angus the Gun the type of player that we should bring to Celtic at the age of 27? He's obviously, well, this is the reason that this could be happening, this one might, because he's ex-Manchester City youth. So I don't know if he's still got connections with the City group. Obviously, and Celtic have big connections with that. But Celtic could get him for a cut price deal with his contract due to expire in 2025. Is he really Celtic quality though? It would do for the allocation of players for Europe, Scottish players in Europe. He would be fine for that. But does he have what it takes to be the number one at Celtic? Last but not least is a player that's been at Celtic before, and I think he's at the wrong age. He's more than happy now that he's at Spurs and he's on the bench at Spurs, and he's been at clubs many a time where he's been on the bench. But Fraser Foster, for me, people have been speaking about him. Could he be tempted back to Glasgow for a full spell? I don't think so, and I don't think Celtic will go back for him. He was obviously given the chance to stay to try and clinch the 10, and he turned that down. But whether the 35-year-old, he's the wrong age for me. I'm sorry, he's just completely the wrong age, the wrong bracket, completely what Celtic need right now. I don't think that we need another player coming at that age. Look, we've got a keeper just now who's not far from that age, and we don't need another one. And then you've got Kasper Schmeichel. But then Kasper Schmeichel, he was with Brendan at Leicester, the son of the Manchester United legend. But he's now at Anderlecht, I'm sure. But he's 36-year-old. And I don't think that he's the right age either. And I know goalkeepers can go on and play till they're 40. But I think what Celtic are trying to build, they're trying to build a team and a nucleus of a team that are young enough to go on another run through the leagues and Europe, and have that togetherness that we had with the team that went on to the 9 in a row that were not long completed. And then you've got to remember, it's the second 9 in a row that Celtic have completed during the time. And the last treble we won, it was a historic 8th treble. Now it's maybe time to try and get that 9th treble in a few years' time, and that's why we need the nucleus of that team. So tell me what you think about those goalkeepers in the comments. For me, the only one that might get a chance is maybe the Liverpool goalkeeper, but our chances of getting him are really slim. There's no chance. But he is in the same price bracket as the Real Madrid goalkeeper. So when it comes to money, a lot of people are saying there's not a chance will Celtic spend 10, 11 million on a goalkeeper. You've then got to pay them 50 to 60 grand a week, and Celtic as a club are just never going to do that. We're never going to do that. But if we have any aspirations to try and achieve anything in Europe, it's something that we need to look seriously at a club. So your choices are Andre Lunin, Kelleher from Liverpool. He's probably the only one that I think we might get a chance, a sniff at. Matthew Ryan, the Australian number one, that I don't really know enough about to comment about him. Angus Gunn, the Scottish goalkeeper, Scotland goalkeeper. Is it right for us to go and get him? He's at the age of 27. He's probably in that age bracket where it could be a good, but does he have the experience and does he have the quality to be a Celtic goalkeeper? This is the question that I'm asking you to tell me in the comments. And then there's Fraser Foster. I don't think that he'll come back to Celtic. I don't think Celtic will go back for him anyway. And then Kasper Schmeichel, I think that one's a no-go either. He's the wrong age, if you ask me. So on that note, that's the end of this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It just boosts my ego, as they say, but it doesn't, because subscription doesn't mean an absolute thing. On that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party.